A senior Al-Qaeda suspect in the 1998 bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Kenya has pleaded not guilty to charges in a New York court. The Libyan, known as Abu Anas al-Liby, was captured in Tripoli earlier this month by U.S. Army Delta forces and then interrogated aboard a U.S. warship for a week. The suspect was then sent to the U.S. last weekend when his health started to deteriorate. Known as one of Al-Qaeda's early computer experts, he's accused of helping plan and conduct surveillance for the bombings of the U.S. embassies in Nairobi, Kenya, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. He's the sixth man to appear in a Manhattan court to face charges in the embassy bombing attacks. The other 5 are serving life sentences. Karen Greenberg, the director of the Center on National Security at Fordham Law School, said al-Liby could provide valuable information and insight into the operations of Al-Qaeda.
That this is interesting for 2 reasons. One is getting in custody another individual from the embassy bombings indictment. And the second reason is to understand more about Al-Qaeda, what happened with Al-Qaeda, Benghazi, etc. And so I think he's considered a very valuable source and resource for the United States right now, in addition to the prosecutorial elements.
The case is also notable for taking place in a U.S. civilian court rather than a military tribunal. Greenberg says it shows that the U.S. is shifting away from the controversial detention policies implemented by President George W. Bush.
You know, the Obama administration, to begin with the detention on the ship, the Obama administration has made it clear they are not going to send people to black sites for the kind of interrogation that we had before, and you can assume that this is a lawful interrogation. I think that's pretty much assumed. In terms of what kind of precedent will this case set for future trials, maybe even for Guantanamo detainees, who knows? Every single trial of a high-value detainee who is charged with a lethal attack on individuals, including U.S. citizens, that is tried in federal court successfully opens the door wider for other of the suspects at Guantanamo, including even the 9/11 detainees, to be able to come to the United States.
Al-Liby's capture by U.S. forces has caused uproar in Libya, with militiamen accusing the country's Prime Minister Ali Zaidan of collaborating in the abduction of a Libyan citizen. Zaidan was kidnapped earlier this month following the U.S. raid, when gunmen stormed the luxury Tripoli hotel where he lives and took him away, holding him in a basement prison for hours. Zaidan lashed out at the militias following the incident, accusing them of trying to turn Libya into another Afghanistan or Somalia. Lawlessness has dogged the North African country since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Militias have resisted efforts by the central authorities to restore order, leading to fears that the country could fracture along tribal lines.